Hi, and thanks for watching our bike maintenance video today. So before we actually start looking at bikes, let's have a quick run through some of the tools we are using. So one of the most important things when you're having a bike is these ones, Allen keys. You can either buy a set like these ones, which are kind of longer, so you have more leverage when using them. Or if you'd rather like it compact, you can have a multi-tool like this one, which has some of the Allen keys and also a screwdriver on it. Or you can buy a bit bigger one like this one, which really has loads more to it. One of the problems with the multi-tools is though that they tend to get loose here, and then you have to tighten them up with an Allen key, which is kind of a bit funny. So I prefer actually these ones, but for out on the road, this one is really more practical as it's more compact. So besides the Allen keys, what is really helpful is to have a little screwdriver. This one is actually a flat one, but you can also have a square one, which is actually better. But a relatively small one will do. You probably have that already at home. Then one thing really important is a spanner. A spanner is very helpful when you work on bikes, because a lot of things need a spanner. You can also use, instead for some of the works, a ratchet spanner, which I find is more convenient and easier to use, but they're quite expensive. So if you don't use it a lot, just stick to the spanner. I have a pedal spanner here as well, which is really just for pedals mainly. And unless you would take pedals on and off regularly, you don't need to buy one, because you can just do it with the regular spanner as well. Then obviously you need a pump. I have this little compact one, which is a hand pump. I got this little thing where you can put your foot on, but it's not really that practical. But it works. My favorite one is actually this one, which is a foot pump. So I can put it down, put my foot on here, and then really just pump it up and down with my foot and stand up straight, which is really convenient. Or you can use a bigger pump, a stand pump, which really is more upright and pushes more air in your tires. But for on the road, these ones are great, or if you just use them occasionally. But you want to make sure though, whatever pump you buy, you want to make sure it got 2 holes for Presta and Schrader valves, so whichever tire you have, it will fit on all of them. This is really the main thing to look out for, unless you really know what type of valve you have and that you always want to stick to it. Because it may be in future you buy another bike, or you have multiple bikes in the home, so this is really important to look out for. Another thing which really important, obviously, spare inner tubes. You should have at least one for each bike you have in your household. They come in different sizes, so you have to make sure that you buy the right inner tube for your bike. There's usually something written on your tires where you can then go to the shop and get the right inner tube. So this one is a 24-inch, which is for a children's bike, and we're gonna change this later on. It's also written here on the then something I really like is this cable ties, because sometimes wires on bikes come loose. They're usually connected with some little plastic pieces, and you can lose them really easily. So I kind of think cable ties are really great to just tie things up. Don't have to do it, but I just find it really practical. Yeah, what else do we have? We have this little tool here, which is to tighten up the spokes on the wheel. So it's not something you need to have, and it's something you have to be really, really careful with. So we're going to talk about this later as well when we come to the tires. But it's something I just bought a while ago and found it quite useful at times. But you have to know how to use it. And it got all these little things, because spokes come in different sizes as well, so it's for those ones. Yeah, and last, I've got some chain oil here, which is really good. It's really just for the chain. You don't want to use it on brakes. or any other parts of your bike. It's really just for the chain. Yeah, that's it with the tools, and let's move on to the next bit.